Getting myself proportional, presentable. All right, with these hair ties, I think they're pretty cool. Anyways, Love Island is the bane of my existence, and I'll explain to you why. Now in this video, I'm going to just be talking about Love Island from the perspective of a male. I feel like this is a show more so catered towards women, which is fine. And I'm also not a person who is an avid watcher of Love Island. As a matter of fact, I tried to dibble and dabble in it with season 7, I think it was last year. Couldn't get into it personally. I just didn't think it was a show that was for me, so I didn't watch it. Going into this year, I see the promos for, season 8 and, the new people for this season. And I was like, you know what? This time I think I'll watch it. These people look like personalities who are probably interesting people. Some of them probably irritating. Some of them probably more enjoyable people. Like I said, I won't discuss like anyone's character in this video because I don't really want to do that. But I do have people that I do find irritating in the show and people whose personality I just don't tend to enjoy. And that's okay, but I just won't really necessarily mention names unless it really fits, but I don't think I'm going in that direction in this video. But, man, this show is an insane show. And I've even looked at the discourse surrounding the show and like this season. My bad, I'm messing around with my collar. Goodness, I am fresh. Anyways, man, I looked at the discourse surrounding this show, and it's safe to say this is probably one of the worst seasons that I've heard about. Like I said, I haven't watched any season prior to this one, the most recent one. But this seems to be, the general consensus seems to be that this is the worst season that has come out and about of Love Island. And I find that to be quite interesting because if this is the worst season, I wonder how much better the other ones were. And I've heard about, the other seasons. Like I know about like the main characters of like the last season. You have Shelly and the Ace guy, and the Nick and Alandria shorty and the Huda shorty. Everyone else, I don't know much about them. This season seems to be the same to me because the show starts with your main group of women, and this includes the Kata shorty. Even though yes, she did come in as a bombshell, she seemed to have fit right in. At the current recording of this video, we are currently 27 episodes into this season. I don't know how many episodes this show typically runs for because, like I said, I'm not a watcher of this show, to be honest. But we're 20 odd something episodes in. It's the same people for the most part. These women do not disappear. These fellas do not disappear. You get voted off. And it seems like to me in this show, I'm coming to realize this show, it seems like if you're not the main group, if you're not the original Islanders, you're not getting voted off. And I'm not sure if this is how, the show has always operated and how it has always worked, but I do find it interesting and I do kind of find it rather annoying that it works that way because, it'd be cool to see some like fresh new people come in, some new personalities come in. Personally, right now, I can think of a few people in the main cast of people right now who are fairly annoying, and I want them to leave. But they don't seem to be, leaving, which is, I guess, okay. That's how the show works. But I don't know if I'm coming back to this show. And this isn't a show for the mandem anyway. The show doesn't really cater towards me, I assume. Which is fine. But I don't think I'll be coming back to the next season if it runs this way. And I'll give you another reason why I won't be coming back to the next season. Because I find the show kind of enjoyable, which is why I kind of wish that I would want to come back to the next season. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen because the show has a weird thing with blackness. I don't know if you guys know about me, but a fellow like Shad, I care about black representation. We're not going to have my people on camera looking any kind of way. And it seems like this show kind of leans towards that, or it attracts people who have anti-black sentiments, I might say. I've seen some discourse on this show from certain people, palm-colored women, and, this show kind of got some anti-black vibes to it. It kind of attracts an anti-black, archetype of people. I hear that one of the shorties that were on the show left the show early due to the fact she said the N-word. And I hear that this has happened on other occasions. And I don't know. That just sends an odd signal to me. Sounds like to me my people shouldn't be on this show. There should be a show for the white folk, the white gal and them, the white men and things of that nature. Black women and men shouldn't go on this show, is what the show seems to give me. That's the impression it seems to give me. Because the show kind of had, like the production of the show kind of, I don't know, it makes these anti-black sentiments a little too easy. It lends itself to these kinds of jokes, I would like to say. As well as you also have like the people who discuss the show, and they also have weird sentiments towards like black people, darker skinned black people. I see a good bit of colorism from like my people. I think that's interesting. I think that's a little strange. There's certain intersectionalities that people like to discuss when they do talk about this show. Or there's certain like things where if you don't understand intersectionality, when you do get to discussing about this show, like certain personalities certain black people's personalities that come on this show, you wouldn't understand them if you don't grow up around black people. And if you are a white person and you discuss this show and you hear, or you're like discussing something that you wouldn't understand because we're not in the black community or whatever, it's kind of, you don't really have much opportunity or much space to talk about it. And I feel like I see a lot of white people talking about the black people, and I'm just like, you wouldn't get it. It's like a personality thing, it's a cultural thing that you wouldn't get. And that has nothing really necessarily to do with the show, but I do feel like the show does kind of warrant this kind of behavior, this kind of like stature towards my people. And I don't necessarily like that too much, on top of the fact, it is like a weird show. Why are we all kissing each other? I'm not even on that, purity junk, we're wrapping ourselves up in chastity belts and things of that nature. I'm not necessarily on like no hyper, Puritan thing, but like I do wonder, is this not like a strange thing to like do to a certain degree, right? Am I out of bounds in saying that? I don't know. It's like it was a thing when I first like this is like the biggest reason why I couldn't get into like Love Island the first time I tried to watch it last year, was because I couldn't get past the like challenges. I was wondering what's up with the challenges. I was able to get past this season, and just watch it for like the people's interactions, and I don't know, it's still like a thing for me. It's still like, that one challenge that Megan Thee Stallion pulled up in, and they're like, shaking behind on cake. I just couldn't. I thought it was kind of gross. I thought it looked kind of nasty, the bedroom where they're like had the paint on their hands. I thought it looked disgusting. I don't want paint on me. I was looking at them like, you know, the bed started off white, and next thing you know, it's all brown and has paint and stuff all over. Same thing with the cake thing. I'm just like, it's kind of nasty. You know, it's not the kissing thing. I was just like, it looks nasty. We're all shirtless and things like that. Can't do it. Can't do it. I don't know if that's all the challenges, but like, man, hard for me to get through. I don't like watching that, you know. That's because, you know, the show's not necessarily for me, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying why, you know, Love Island, you know, almost gives me a freaking brain aneurysm. I have a hard time understanding it, wrapping my mind around it, you know. I don't know. You know, if you like the show, you like the show. Let me know what you think about the show. You know, if you enjoy the show, I'm not shaming you for it. I'm just saying, you know, I don't think you're weird enough. I don't think weird people like the show. Like, I don't think you're weird if you like the show. I like certain aspects of the show. I actually do kind of like reality TV. But this show is a little bit strange. It's like a spectacle. Because the only reason why I really made it through this season was because so much of it is like spectacle. Like, I gotta see what's going on next. And I am kind of also like invested in like these people's dynamics and relationships. You know, I even downloaded the app to you know, vote. You know what I'm saying? To vote these people off or vote who I like the most. And, you know, I didn't think I was going to get like that invested, especially into like a show like this. But like, it does do a good job of like, you know, making you want more, I would say. But, man, certain things about this show, crazy, bro, crazy. I can't get behind it, bro. They DD. Hey, let me tell you something, bro. Some of these people, the way they talking to some of these people on this show, though, I ain't gonna name no names, but you know, hey, you wouldn't be talking to me like that. You would be talking to Big Sean like that, bro. Let me tell you something, bro. I ain't lying, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't know if they be chatting like this, the way they be chatting. Do they be chatting like that in other seasons? Do they be like, you know, ripping each other's heads off, talking to each other the way they doing? They wouldn't be talking to me like that. Wouldn't be talking to me like that. Me, nigga, Big Sean, nigga, go ask about me. You ain't talk to me like that. That's that, bro. On me.